Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Lines Forever. Dual casting with Keezer, and this time we're on Via. Hi Keezer.
Yo.
We got Kalvirox and we have Maitz. So Kalvirox has been gone for a while. Oh, what? It's not playing at the correct speed, it seems. There we go. Yeah, Kalvirox has been gone for a while, but he's come back recently and been playing some games. Seems to have unrusted very quickly. Makes me suspicious that perhaps he has a hidden Smurf, which he was warming up on, but I don't know. Maybe he's just not too rusty. And we have Maitz, who has been absolutely spamming the ladder with games and beating most people when he doesn't quit at the start of the game because he doesn't like the map or he's got it too many times or something. So Keezer is very familiar with this map, having played all of those BAF beta games on it. So do
Yeah.
you have like a very specific build order on this? I guess by now you know exactly what you're doing with each engineer.
Yeah, kind of. Like pretty much what they are doing anyway. Expanding with the two first engineers, grabbing some reclaim around the mountain, and trying to get the factory and spam all the engineer you need for the reclaim on the sides. At the same time, you need to assist your commander to be able to build so as much pigeon as possible, and of course, you need to think about reclaiming a bit with one or two engineer on the I don't know how to call it, like the line, mountain line that is just nearby your spawn. But yeah, third air should be the best, I think, so you can spam a lot of engineer with the two first factories, and
Yeah, I think that's
yeah, should be okay. You just need to think about protecting your engineers, expanding, especially when there is some guys like Maitz that are going to try to raid you. I think Maitz is like, Kalvirox is getting back. I'm gonna try to trick this old fart, you know.
Yep, well, not a bad plan to try put him off as soon as possible. I think that's one of the main advantages really of, early bombers and early labs is not just the damage, but also that it throws your opponent off and kind of fucks with what they have planned and puts them off guard as well. And maybe makes them mess up their economy balance more than just the damage would do for them,
Yeah.
So you can really delay expansion here a lot. And like you said, first two factories can spam a lot of engineers. I think you're right about third air. It's generally good, but second air is good too. Can definitely do some damage with bombers. And I also think, yeah, with your ACU, you need to queue up a lot more PGens per factory because you're going to have other engineers on either side building factories, so you need to build a lot more power to account for them and their production. Also, one of the reasons you expand a bit slower, so you don't spend so much power on early mass extractors, and then you can get more factories a bit faster and more engineers. So not much
Seems like Kalvirox kind of anticipated the lab play from Mace Noob.
Yeah.
And he's trying to he has been countering the first lab, and he's going maybe to catch the second one. I don't know. Seems like he's doing quite well here.
Yep, looks like yeah, it's a good play. He has the tanks in the right place at the right time, knows what's possible, and also you can see he has a scout for every mantis, which is pretty nice. Helped him a lot there to avoid all the damage. So now after he counters those labs, I think he should immediately be sending these mantis across the map Uh, Maybe on the top you could leave the Mantis there, but I think generally it's just better to just send them across and then you'll spot any targets on your way, and that actually gives you more time to react and send
Mm.
reinforcements to your engineers. Usually
But
better.
I'm always worried about some tanks that would be kind of hiding and would
Mm,
catch my engineer while I've been sending my tank to the front. So yeah, I don't really know. Like I know that I should be putting some pressure, at the same time, like it's such a big map that can have the unit to defend while still building them way later. So
mm.
I don't really know.
Yeah, well, I think at the start, I mean, definitely say before you have your factory in your expansion, then you're really vulnerable to those sneaky hidden tanks. But I think once, if you have like a few engineers in the expansion, they're building the factory, then I don't think you really need to leave your tanks behind. They can run across the map, put some pressure, and you should be fine. You shouldn't lose a lot of time, even if some hidden tank gets through, you know? It's mostly just at the very start when you don't have the factories up. Kalvirox building a PD in his between his two mountains extremely early, but he's also doing pretty good damage in the expansion on the bottom. He did send those tanks across, and it's delaying the expansion and delaying factories in the expansion. Engineer goes down, but
I kind of like to the engineers that have been building the PD. Like prefer to use it to grab to make a factory and to get some Medusa quite early on, attacking the middle PDs, so I can grab the the 3000 reclaim that is right in the middle and some of the building.
yeah,
I think you can build it, like you don't need to rush it fast with several engineer, but you can prepare it and have it for the 10-minute marks, even maybe a bit sooner. So
yeah. I think definitely this engineer that's building those expanding to the two mexes. I do the same thing. Build that factory and then send the first thing the factory builds is a few Medusa or whatever arty to work on mid. Looks like Maitz might get some tanks through, get some raid, but it mostly just isn't really doing damage. It's just sort of forcing Kalvirox's units back further into his base. Oh, actually, he's killing these engineers. Maitz is killing the engineers trying to reclaim on the left, which
mm,
is actually those are all good kills to get. The less engineers your opponent has, the less mass they're gonna have. Oh, he actually,
yeah, usually on this map, the main focus, it's kind of weird, but the main focus is to be able to split your engineer reclaiming at the reclaim spot. So all around the little mountain, you need to have some engineer in attack move or patrolling in there, and obviously you want your tanks to be protecting them, and so you have to split all these engineer reclaiming and at the same time spamming your power, upgrading your mexes and getting up your spam, just so you're not going to get spammed up and just getting crushed by some heavy land spam.
yeah, yeah. It seems like Mites is actually aiming to use his tanks to raid the reclaiming engineers rather than attack mexes or anything like that. And I think that's much better option. You can see he just consistently is killing these engineers in the top in Kalvirox's top expansion, denying that reclaim for all the game, and then doing the same on the bottom now, just sending his mantis. He doesn't need to attack the expansion. He just needs to deny as much reclaim as he can, and he's doing actually a really good job of it. And you can see now he has 5k more mass reclaim than Kalvirox, and
Yeah.
he's moving to T3 now, quite a bit faster than Kalvirox, I think. Kalvirox not
um,
upgrading to T3 yet.
what do you think about dropping the expansion. Do you think that's something to really good to do, or is it like something that you are going to spend too much APM on and it's not really that interesting?
And the furthest expansions.
Yeah, the top right, top left or bottom right. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's worth dropping. I mean, because there's quite a lot of reclaim, and it's quite a few mexes as well, and I would definitely try and drop them, at least one of them, and maybe both if I can, because if you drop engineers, then you can quickly get a PD up, get factories up, and that map control can actually matter later in the game. Also gives
Mm.
you nice vision if people are trying to do sneaky drops, T2 drops and stuff. You can spot them a lot easier with the map control there.
Some civilian take one PD that just killed the half of the army of Maitz noob at the top. Like killed like 20, 15 tanks, so it's not too bad. Helping Kalvirox that kind of needs some help right now. Not having enough tanks, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, he does seem to be struggling. Just has had less mantis, but now it looks like the mantis production has just stopped completely for Maitz noob, or for the last minute or so, because he has no more tanks. He does have T3, but actually Kalvirox has the better economy, so he's been denied all this mass reclaim, or quite a lot for quite a while, but he's grabbing it now, and he already has a lot more T2 mexes. He has storages in on many of them, so Maitz is gonna have to do damage on T3, I think, with these loyalists, and
Yeah, I
should be able
mean,
to.
in total eco, they are pretty much neck and neck. 52,000 for Maze Noob, 53 for Kalvirox, so they are really close. Maybe Kalvirox is going to grab a little bit more now that he has a bit of, not that much, but a little bit more eco. But yeah, the game is kind of close. They both add one expansion. Kalvirox is going to lose one, but it's not like that dramatic anyway. He reclaimed quite a lot of the rocks on this expansion, so yeah.
Yep, it's pretty good for him, and also he has more reclaim left over near his base that he can still grab. Like say on the right side, there's some reclaim. There's still some reclaim in a few spots, so he can catch up in reclaim. But let's see. I don't know if this faster T3 is gonna help Maitz very much. Doesn't seem like the loyalists can actually get in and do much damage to any real valuable targets. Perhaps he needs to, if he gets some drop, then I think the loyalists can actually do damage, but just running across the ground, they can't do much. Oh, Maitz is getting the mid reclaim. That's actually a huge deal right now. It's a lot of mass that he's gonna grab. He's also going T3 air and has some Corsairs waiting for something. Not sure what the purpose is.
Maybe some power, maybe, I don't know.
Could
But
be.
yeah, they have been listening to you. They're making some TMD in their expansion. So
Yeah, they
it's
better.
a bit late, but
I mean, if they don't, I'm gonna snipe all of their shit with TML.
just be careful with their Cybran, so they might use their loyalist.
They might, you might just snipe everything with TML anyway, even though you have TMD. Thanks to Cybern TML. Just a couple, I think, what, you need like 3 missiles maybe, and then you kill a TMD, something like that. Thanks to
Yeah,
the
I don't
split
know.
missile. Some loyalists trying to raid, and I think they're gonna get murdered before they can do very much. Because there's all this T1 PD here being thrown up. So it might just be a mass donation. in Kalvirox's base, and yeah, he kind of cleaned that up pretty easily. His
Oh,
ACU.
there is a
Hmm.
yeah, there is a jester at the top in the quarter, so maybe they are going to do something here.
Yeah, actually, Kalvirox's ACU is sort of in the middle of nowhere. He doesn't have any defenses really, and he lost air, so he could actually just get sniped by the Corsairs and Jesters here, I think. I mean, four Corsairs, I don't know if it's enough, but he could actually go for the ACU right there. Instead,
There is some Tick 1 AA, but yeah.
yeah, and he could spam more quite quickly with all those engineers, but instead he's going for eco, and he's already killed one mechs, and he's aiming for this T3 mechs in the base. Killed the storages. I'm not sure what's going on. He's attacking T1 P-gens now, which is not very good targets. Another mech goes down. And it's not the worst damage. I think he might have been able to do more. Kalvirox looks like he's just playing survival mode, just holding on to his part of the map. Because he does have those T3 mexes, and Maitz has none at all. Kalvirox has 3 T3 mexes already, and he has another one halfway done. So he's actually in a really good spot with all that economy. And Maitz can't really break through with his land. There's too many walls and T1 PDs and T2 PDs even. So it's pretty good from Kalvirox.
Yeah, though Maitz does have Tech 3 air. He's building a Tech 3 pigeon. I think he will go for a shot bomber. Yeah, he's going for this, so
Yep.
he might still be able to do a little bit more damage to the economy.
Yeah, the strap bomber, it's kind of hard to do a huge amount of damage right now. I mean, if I'm Kalvirox, well, actually, he sees that there should be T3 air now. He sees the icon has changed, but you should have like a SAM somewhere. So I don't know how much damage he can do with the strap armor. We'll have to see. Maitz losing his expansion to Mantis at 18 minutes when there's T3 air and T3 land on the field. It's quite funny. And the Jesters doing damage. There's Jesters in the base killing mass storages of Kalvirox. Oh, as he's building a strat, he's raiding with Jesters. Amazing.
And yeah, and there is 2 Tech 2 radar for Kalvirox, so I just wanted to say that Zuck would be proud of it.
Yes, he would. They don't have any P-gens around them though. But
it's true, but you can't be perfect.
No.
Building the 2 radar is already really nice to do.
Yeah, he's only 1800. Once you get to 2k, then you put P-gens around the T2 radars. And he needs to get his mexes back. He's kind of slow getting them. Kalvirox is. He lost those base mexes, and the mass points are still empty. Looks like Maitz.
Economy-wise, yeah, it's pretty much the same eco-wise, so I think Maitz kind of got back into this. Maybe he has less unit, I don't know. 10 bricks, 7 loyalist against 26 royalists. So yeah, I guess Kalvirox has a unit combination and composition, army composition that is a bit better for later in the game. But yeah, he had an advantage and kind of lost it. Not sure how.
I think. Well, I think losing those mexes and not rebuilding them very quickly kind of hurt him, and also Maitz has had extra mexes for a long time. He has mid mexes and he has the expansion mexes, so that's gonna help him a lot with the mass difference. And now he has caught up in T3 mexes as well, pretty much. He made them as fast as he could. And the strap bomber is done, and there's actually a second one as well for Maitz. T2 mex goes down. And let's see what else this strat can do. I think once you build these T3 air units, you just have to make some air staging. Like if you repair a strat that's damaged, that's just insane value. It's almost free. But oh, it looks like he just loses the strats. He already lost one, and the second one went down to interceptors. That's pretty sad for Maitz. There's so much mass just donated there from those two strap bombers.
Yeah, I think you kind of need to take the fight, the air fight, and clean up all your opponent interceptor before sending these strats in. Maybe just get 1 or 2 SF just to be sure that you're going to win the air fight, and then you have your strats that can be really deadly, especially now that the Cybran one-shot the tech. It used to not be this good, but
Yeah.
now, yeah, quite a valid strategy to go fast tech 3 air, but you really need to be careful about losing them to some interceptors or some really fast SAMs.
Yeah, it is. I think you can, without taking the air fight, you can micro quite well and escape the interceptors. You just have to be careful not to take sharp turns, so that you can stay out of range of the inties. But it is better definitely to just go take the fight. And even if you lose the fight, but they have very few interceptors, then that's fine. The strat is a lot safer then as well, and you have T3 air production anyway, so the interceptors that are left aren't really important. So definitely a misplay with the strap bombers. I mean, he just dropped 3,400 mass on Kalvirox's side, and he killed 2 or 3 T2 mexes. So definitely not at all worth it. And Kalvirox doing well now. He's maybe a bit late, but he has cleaned up. The expansions are all dead. He should send a couple of units to mid to kill those mexes as well, but I think it's dangerous to send a lot of his units across the map now because of the T3 air threat. He doesn't have much. He has quite a few flax, but I'm not sure if he has enough flax to be comfortable with those units. And it looks like he's retreating actually, which is not a bad move.
Mace did build some tech-3 artillery, so I was expecting him to just sit next to his opponent expansion and try to put some fire on it. Yeah, just pressure it a little bit for some shield, and could have been nice. He has been retreating them, but maybe we are going to see some use of them a little bit later. And also now he has some tech-3 gunships, so he's going to be able to defend any air, any land attack, like you were explaining before, quite nicely, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like Kalvirox does actually have enough flax. So what Kalvirox needs to do now is get his own ASF. Desperately needs to, because if he continues on and he doesn't get air, then he's going to be trapped in a small space where he actually has air defenses, and he won't be able to push out, and he may eventually just get destroyed by strap bombers or these gunships. You can see the gunships just killing a brick very quickly, and that is what's going to happen the longer the game goes on if you don't have air control. But I think the main thing at this stage of the game, you just have to be very aware of how many T3 mexes your opponent has. Because if you can just look away and or not concentrate on it, and if you fall behind in T3 mexes too far, it's really hard to make that ground back up, and especially with the defender's advantage and everything, you got to make sure you stay close to your opponent in economy. I'm not sure what the plan for these guys is. Kalvirox, interesting that Kalvirox focusing mostly on bricks, which I think is pretty good because he's playing quite defensively. Just kind of sitting outside, sitting around his base, not moving out because, well, he doesn't have air control, so I think bricks are better in this scenario. I would definitely mix in some T3RTs. Because against Cybran, T3RTs are actually better because there's no mobile shields at all to stop that damage. So, and also they have the Trebuchet, which has pretty fantastic AoE and looks pretty scary too. So definitely mix in a few of those. Especially the larger the armies get, the more damage they're going to do with every shot.
Yeah, I'm not sure what their plan is. In apart from getting even more economy, I think maybe going for a nuke could be a good idea instead of going for fast Monkey Lord. But like, you don't need to rush the nukes. You just need to build it slowly while not sacrificing your air production. And I'm not sure if one SMD is enough to defend the 3 expansion of. I mean, not the 3 expansion, but the 2 expansion in your main base.
No, you're definitely gonna lose something. Even with one SMD is gonna cover like the. If you build it in your main base, then you can probably cover the front expansion and the 6 mexes, so like 8 mexes. But the other 2 expansions are fair game, definitely for a nuke. The Monkey Lord is just about done.
Yeah, it's gonna be mass donation, I guess.
Yeah, this is sad. The timing is just perfect for Maitz nuke. Sad for Kalvirox. Definitely not sad for Maitz. This might be an extremely big win for him. So Monkey Lord's gonna eat up this army, and he's gonna vet as well. So, yeah, Monkey Lord hasn't even taken damage, and this army is dead. They think his top expansion, Kalvirox's top expansion now, is in serious trouble. So he's pushing on the bottom, looking to do more damage. But Maitz has a much better formation. You can see all of his bricks are a lot closer together. Kalvirox is more spread out.
Yeah, I think Kalvirox is still a bit rusty, and he has like 16k mass in storage. So he should be able to have like, he should have his own Monkey Lord by now, and have pretty much the same army size as his opponent. But yeah.
Yeah, he definitely. That's about as much as a Monkey Lord costs is what he had in storage, and he also had the power to spend it as well. So definitely a mistake. His Monkey Lord is building extremely quickly now, so he can probably just instantly build another one directly after. It looks like he's donating mass on the bottom as well. Unfortunately, this attack didn't go well. Both of them are using stealth quite well with the bricks, and it just leads to these very strange fights where the bricks can't see each other for so long, and then suddenly they're right next to each other shooting. Spiderbot getting targeted by Corsairs, but Maitz just won air, so the Corsair is going to go down. And the Spiderbot is going to go eat some T3 mexes. But Maitz needs to be careful. I mean, it definitely looks really good for him right now, but if he donates a Spiderbot of mass, then it could be dangerous for him. And actually, Maitz making a Soul Ripper, and it's almost done. And That might actually be the game ender.
Yeah, Kalvirox just lost air, the air fight, so
Mm.
he's going to lose his Monkey Rod, I guess. Maybe he can do some damage because he's still not in range of his opponent's Monkey Rod. But yeah, maybe even he can even try to grab some veterancy from the Tech Max since it's quite OP right now, and be able to just develop. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's gonna catch that spider bot. I think it might just get into the base and everything. He's too far behind to catch it. Maitz finishes the Soul Ripper. Soul Ripper is kind of absurdly good, especially on this map. It's just so powerful, builds so quickly, does so much damage. Oh, Maitz stopped moving.
I think Kalvirox don't know about the latest patch.
Yes,
It just control K'd all his build power in his base.
yeah,
So
which
that's quite
is
sad.
was the
You
correct
agree?
decision in the old patch, and but with the new vet system, that's not very helpful for him. And the Soul Ripper. So I've said this before, but I need to say it again. When you build a Soul Ripper, what you do is you scout the enemy ACU and then you click on the enemy ACU. That's how you use the Soul Ripper. You don't try and kill anything else unless the ACU is under a lot of shields and has 10 SAMs. I mean, if the ACU has SAMs and shields, then you go kill other stuff. Otherwise, just click on the ACU and type GG in the chat. That's the gameplay. But Maitz is gonna kill the top expansion instead, and just sort of prolong the game. I don't think. See, now he's just giving Kalvirox time to build air defenses and stuff, but I still don't think he's gonna be able to defend against the Soul Ripper for very long.
Yeah, at least the expansion is dead now. It's going to kill the Monkey Lord, so quite over. I don't see Kalvirox getting back from this, or Telesnipe, surprise Telesnipe without Mace going to try to kill him.
That would be amazing if he telesniped. I have seen telesnipe on this map. I think people should probably try do it a bit more often because it's not expected. I think I died to it once. I can't remember who did it. Maybe Soviet Pride did it. He always liked a good old telesnipe.
Cloak laser also.
Yes. Cloak laser is brilliant. Cybern have all the toys. All of the toys. Kalvirox calls GG. He's sick of waiting for this Soul Ripper to kill him.
So what was the issue? What happened, in your opinion? Why did Kalvirox fall behind in this game?
Well, I don't know. He was doing really well with those T3 maxes, and I didn't watch his economy management at that stage, but later on, I mean, we saw when Maitz had his first spider bot finished, Kalvirox had a lot of mass in the bank, and also, so he didn't really lose out much from the T3 air. I think it was more just spending his mass and just eco management like that. And then after secondary to that, there was the bad pushes at the wrong time, so he pushed into the Monkey Lord. The problem is pushing on both sides at the same time. I mean, he just doesn't have the army to do that. Um, and he ended up losing both the armies and donating mass on both sides. And that really crushed him because then Mites was able to build a Soul Ripper and Monkey Lord from all the reclaim he got.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I mean, if you get, because he had like this monkey lord in the base, he could have lot. He had lot of mass, but he couldn't defend this Reaper. Actually, so Reaper and all this experimental air unit, they are really difficult to counter, because if you have the mass in the actual patch, you can really spam up some experimental super fast and defend an opponent on the opponent experimentals. When it comes to air experimental, well, you can spam some SAMs, but it's not moving. It's just going to be able to defend one spot. So,
Yeah,
and if you really want to counter it with some, I don't know, maybe ASF, you really need to increase your build power. It's gonna take a lot more time. So air experimentals are really really nice. When you can grab the air advantage, then you just maintain the yeah, you maintain some pressure, and it's really difficult to get back into the game
yeah,
for
that's
the players that lost the air. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely true. If you lose air and your opponent has air experimentals, so they're not, especially the Soul Ripper, I think is just the best one in 1v1 basically. But yeah, you just have to kind of sit and get a lot of SAMs. I think uh, people need to have more T3 engineers around the map so that they can actually react to stuff like this and
Mm.
build in places where they need it most. Especially, as you said, air experimentals are so mobile. You can't really you can't really push out with your land forces if there's a Soul Ripper waiting and you don't have air control, and it does definitely take time to get back into the air game. You need a lot of time to increase your build power. I mean, maybe just use the hives. That's a fastest way to really
Mm.
get a lot of build power in your air factory, and obviously with
Yeah,
no
but you still need to increase the your pigeon amount to be
yes.
able to support that. So there is no experimental air defense, for example. So you can't spend a lot of mass on something that doesn't cost that much power and defend you from the air experimental. So yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
you just have to well, you just have to have SAMs and shields. And also, I mean, T3 Mobile A is not super good, but in a pinch, you can just switch to that from your land factories. But overall, the problem is, yeah, it's just the speed. It builds insanely fast, and all the counters require a lot of build power in different ways, and definitely difficult to handle. It's maybe I did also like your suggestion of the nuke. I always liked making nukes on this map. They're very good. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, Soul Ripper. It's very difficult to deal with. That's why I always like Cybern on this map. Was the Soul Ripper. I won so many games just by abusing that unit. It's kind of ridiculous. Well, I think we'll leave it there.
Yeah,
Um,
Cybran has too much tools.
yeah,
Anyway.
they need a nanocom as well. I heard, but that's what I heard. So thanks for casting with me, Keezer. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. See you guys.
See you.